What's going on, y'all? So listen. What's going on, y'all? I know y'all probably didn't think I was coming back for this, but I had to rewatch it or whatever so I can get more in touch and more in order and do my reviews the way that I usually do instead of doing so off the dome. But this is American Horror Story season 1, episode 3, Drive In, okay? Um You know, I don't know if Ryan Murphy or whatever, just giving us these little corny, cheesy type of episodes or whatever, just to hold us over to the new season come back. Now, I initially thought that the new season was supposed to come back in August, but a coworker or whatever showed me something about they was in production or whatever, and something happened where they had to stop. Okay, so I don't know when the new season is coming on. So this is why y'all just getting these hey, until we fill our spot, you know what I'm saying? Because usually we get them up in October or around that time, September, November, October, around Halloween or whatever. But hey, who knows? So let's just get into this episode of American Horror Stories. We get a brand new episode, a brand new story, okay? So like I said, this one is called Drive In. And basically it's about a drive-in, okay? It's about a drive-in, a movie, horny teenagers, and zombies, okay? I could just give it to you just like that, but let me expound on it. So the episode starts off with you got these two teenagers, Kelly and Chad, okay, and they're in Chad's house, and the parents are downstairs. Chad and Kelly, they making out. You know what I'm saying? They doing what these typical teenagers do in these horror movies or whatever. They always fucking and shit like that. But you notice what they say. The main rule in one of the horror movies, especially in the genres of horror movie that came out in the 80s with the Michaels and the Jasons and the stuff like that, you got to be a virgin to goddamn survive, okay? So, following that, they're virgins, all right? And we find this out because Chad is in the process. Why they in the process of, kissing and doing all this stuff, whatever. Chad trying to, get a little feel here, trying to unbuckle this and all this stuff. And Kelly is like, nah, bruh, not finna do this. Chad get up in his feeling like, we've been going together for almost 6 months, and I know that you didn't make Tom Jarecki or whatever, him, Jared Jarecki or whatever the fuck his name is, some other boy, wait as long, to give in, to get some sex or whatever. And of course, this messes up the mood because she's already like, I'm just not ready to do this. So you're in the mood to do it, but she's not in the mood to do it. She's apprehensive, and she's feeling pressure because he wants to get it in, and she don't. And then you throw that line out there to insult her, basically like, well, it didn't take you that long to put out with him, so how come it's taking you this long to put out with me? Typical teenage shit, okay? To be quite honest, typical boy shit, typical fucking ignorant shit. Grown ass men still be doing the same damn thing. But hey, it is what it is. So she gets upset, and then he wanted to do it up in the house where his parents was there. I said, oh, you's a bold nigga, huh? You's a bold one. All right. He was like, the parents downstairs, they watching TV. They ain't gonna, NCIS. They ain't even gonna worry about it. They ain't gonna hear nothing. And I was like, okay. Kelly got pissed. She left, and we hear Chad say, damn, I might just die a virgin or something like that. So the next time we see Chad, he's at the skater park with his two friends. I think they're named Milo and Quinn. And he's telling them what's happening or whatever. And he was like, I don't know if I could coerce her or whatever. And it was like, it's not that you get these stupid boys, okay? These teens that think they know it all or whatever, especially when it comes to sex. Oh, it ain't about her, respecting this and all this stuff. It's about fear. That's what gets them to going, okay? You take them to a drive-in because he said, because if you remember watching it, there's Bob Ross, okay, the painter guy, the ASMR relaxation painter guy, playing in the background. And Chad said he was playing that in the background to loosen her up, to get her relaxed or whatever, to let her guard down. And his friend was like, nah, you don't do no shit like that. You go take her and watch a horror movie. Horror and fear is what, want to loosen them up or make them want to come to you. I'm sitting here like, what? What type of logic is this? Girl, I mean, truth be told, you watching a horror movie with your boo or whatever, especially back in the day when the horror movies used to be good, you know what I'm saying? You might get a little, oh my God, they touching on you and stuff like that. Shit like that. But like Chad said, fuck that, because horror movies ain't shit today, okay? They not scary, they nothing. And so it was Milo who was like, well, it's these drive-in movie coming, this movie coming to the drive-in, one of the scariest movies that they had. It was like Deadly or whatever. It's supposed to be an urban legend according to them, you know what I'm saying? And so, it's this big hot thing, and he was up till 3 o'clock in the morning trying to get tickets. Only 60 cars can come, you know what I'm saying? And so maybe I got an extra ticket, you take her, you get it in, you do what you got to do, okay? And he was like, we'll see, whatever. And so we get over there and we talking with Kelly, okay? Kelly talking with her friend D, he's a gay boy. I was like, all right, come on, fabulous, all right? He was giving all the feels, and I really wanted him to survive. I just wanted him to survive because I liked him, but, he's talking to her and basically like, what is it? You're scared of the D or whatever because you're always making up excuse. Come to find out, people been saying that she slept with this other boy, the same boy that Chad mentioned, Tom, but she never did. She's still a virgin herself as well. And I'm like, this is not how you try to get somebody to get in with you, by pressuring them. And, the D is talking about, come to find out, he is involved with Milo, one of Chad's friends, the boy that had the tickets to the goddamn movie, okay? And so, he was like, we going to the movie theater, to the drive-in or whatever, and before the credits show up or whatever, before it even start, I'm going to be up on that dick, okay? I said, child, how old are you, okay? But this is how teens are, so hey, it is what it is. And she was like, okay, whatever, we'll see. So eventually, I guess Chad and Kelly, they got their things together, and, she agreed to go to the drive-in with him before they go to the drive-in, because, when Chad was talking to his friends about this movie and why is it such an urban legend and myth or whatever about what happened, basically a whole bunch of people either got hurt or died during the original filming of this movie in 1986. And, he went home and he looked up the director who was put on trial in front of a commission or whatever, and for the harm and danger that his film caused. And as we're looking at this throwback, court session, we see this lady that was coming for him or whatever and talking about how his movie is a danger, his movie is despicable, and this and this and this and that, just being very negative. And of course, when you are a creator, you don't want people talking about your stuff, especially when you put your sweat, blood, and tears and your money and everything into creating something that you think is a masterpiece, and then for somebody to come in, not understand what you're doing, and to tear it down. So I get that. But it's also very much reminiscent of how, especially back in the 80s, early 90s, how, just about everything that was not for or in within societal norms was getting attacked. Rap music was getting attacked by the government and these, stay-at-home moms and stuff like that. And that's how we got, they had to go to the courts, and, we had people speaking on panels, and that's how we got the parental advisory stickers and stuff like that. That's what it reminded me of when I was looking at that. And so when basically, dude was, the director name is Larry Bitterman, and he was acting like, whatever, you can feel how you can feel, but my stuff's still going to be played. And then she read a letter basically saying, no, the film company and the studios, they pulling the movie. And so he gets pissed, and he was allowed enough time to jump up from his seat, run and jump over that high-ass goddamn counter, on top of her, bang her against the wall before anybody tried to stop him. It was men on top of, sitting right next beside her on both sides, and they stood back and let him get to her. I said, what in the world? So, that wound up happening. And so next thing you know, we see them at the drive-in, okay? As soon as we get to the drive-in, you see somebody that is outside protesting. Don't go in there. I was there. This is, if you want to save your life, leave. Okay? She got an eye patch on. She got the sign up just telling everybody she is wanted. Let me just tell you something. Truth be told, if I see somebody doing some crazy shit like that, I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna think about it hard for a second, and I may or may not stay, but part of me will want to leave. Okay, part of me will want to leave. All right. Um, Next thing you know, they get to where they need to go. You got Milo and Dee in the car. You got Chad and Kelly finna go to the concession stand and go get them something to eat or whatever. Next thing you know, they come back. You got Quinn in the car by himself. Okay, he literally in the middle, and you look over, Chad and Kelly. They about to get it in, they kissing or whatever, because Chad even came to the conclusion that, you know what, I'm just gonna let, if it happens, it happens. I'm just gonna have a good time with her. That's it. I'm not gonna pressure her, because it's like he thought about what he did and he shouldn't have did it. And so his whole thing is to make up for it. Let me say I'm sorry, and let me just let her move at her pace. Okay, I can't force it. And I was like, okay, I'm cool with that. Meanwhile, you got Dee in the car with Milo talking about some dudes or whatever, some people, they wait on few dates before they put out. Me, on the other hand, I don't do that. And he was like, what? Next thing you know, he started sucking his dick. I said, hold up. I said, really, this is what we're doing? Meanwhile, while that is going on, the movie starts. Earlier, we see the manager of the Starlight Drive-In. She was waiting for the print, okay? And she was talking to one of the employees there, and basically, this print is going to save, this whole movie showing is going to save that goddamn theater, okay? And so they was worried a little bit because the print was behind. Whoever was supposed to drop it off, it was behind. But then we eventually see somebody pull up in the van. We never see their face. And I'm pretty sure, because we saw the van at the person's house, that it was the director of the movie, all right? And, he come up in there talking about something, do you know how to work it? Do you know this? And she was like, I know all of this stuff, okay? Tell your boss she can suck it, and you ain't got to tell me nothing or whatever, woo, woo, woo. So she put the movie on. Mind you, everybody is in their cars. They're waiting for the movie. All of a sudden, it's like our feature presentation. Okay, you got Kelly and Chad. They're doing their thing. They're not watching the movie. At one point, Kelly do watch the movie. You hear a lot of screaming and stuff when it comes on, and that's from the film itself. Kelly looks at the movie for a minute, and then Chad was like, no, fuck the movie or whatever. Let's get back to us, okay? So she turns around. But then in Milo and Dee's car, Dee is sucking old boy off, but Chad, he keeps looking at the movie. Each time his head comes up, he's looking at the movie, he's looking at the movie, he's never off the movie. It came to a point where Milo had to force his head down, like, to continue doing what he's doing. And while we was up in Chad and Kelly's car, they're doing what they're doing, and then all of a sudden, when they was really about to get going, they hear screaming, and it wasn't from the film. They had panned out and showed a whole bunch of other people in the cars and their reactions to this movie. They're literally just sitting there like this, fixated, nothing else. They're not moving or anything. They're just focused so hard, tunnel vision on this movie, okay? Next thing you know, we see their eyes. It's like blood vessels start busting. They're turning red. Pupils are dilating and everything. Next thing you know, we hear screaming. We see one car rocking and somebody screaming in the inside of it. Somebody bust into Kelly's and Chad's car. Kelly had to hurry up and get up into the front seat and try to drive them off, to drive the car and shake them off or whatever, because they was getting attacked. This person then turned into a goddamn zombie. At this point, everybody is gone wild, all right? People turning into, animals at this point, okay? Attacking everybody. Meanwhile, we go look at Dee and Milo in their car. Girl, Milo, he ain't never looked at the movie because he's so in bliss right now. He's getting pleasured so good that his head was back the whole time, and he was just, next thing you know, he was like, what the fuck? Huh? And then he screams out because Dee has turned into a goddamn zombie, bitch. Dee not only turned into a zombie, but Dee bit off piss of his dick, okay? I said, oh my God. Oh my God. And then they show him, I said, this is some nasty shit. They show him doing it, and then you see him spit it out, and you see the little crunkled pieces. I said, we didn't need to see that. We did not need to see that, okay? That was a little bit much. Meanwhile, before all this started, As this started, the protest girl, she was trying to get up there to the projector room, which she did get in there, and she almost was able to unplug it. But the employee boy, he come in and was like, hey, what are you doing? Mind you, the lady who was working the projector, the manager of the place, she is also zombified. She attacks old girl, takes the scissors and stab it in her good eye, okay? And then she attacks old boy. So, you know, Chad and Kelly, they was driving the car trying to get away from these zombies, and then Diaz pops up on top of her car, so they trying to get him off and get out the way, and they can't barely see because it's just a lot that's going on that they run into a wall. And so D get crushed in that you know, in that crash, so D is dead at this point. Okay, Kelly is in her feelings. They get out the car, they run up to the projection room, and they see what's going on. And you know, at one point, Chad was looking at everything, all the carnage and stuff that was going on down in the parking lot area, whatever. And then he gets distracted by the movie. And if it wasn't for Kelly hollering for him to come help her because the manager lady tried to attack her, he probably would have turned into a zombie too. You know, so he wound up killing the the manager lady, okay? And they had to stay up in there. They stayed up in there until the morning. At this time, either everybody is killed off, or the ones that are still alive and still zombified, they didn't spread out and gone other places. We don't know where they at. So at this point, they like, we got to find out who the producer is, where he is, because Milo had mentioned, when he mentioned this whole thing was happening, this special viewing, he said one was supposed to happen tonight, which is where they're at, and then it was another one that's supposed to happen the next night, but no one knows the date. Well, I shouldn't say the date, the place. So they got to find where this print is at. Obviously meaning that it's two prints. If this print is here and we got to destroy that one, we got to figure out where the other one is at. So let's find the producer and the creator of this show, of this movie. We don't even see how they found it, because I guess they said something about the company or whatever who dropped the print off, okay, the movie out. And I was like, all right, but still, how did they find out where he lived at? We gonna bypass all that because they bypassed all of that. They found where old boy stay at. It's a trailer, look like out in the desert, with a Rolls Royce outside. I said, that is odd. That's odd as hell. But he's in there looking at the news, okay? The news is saying how, you know, the carnage outbreak, you know, it was a crazy scene. Nobody's ever seen anything like this. And, you know, people who saw what's going on, nobody is saying anything. They say it could be other people that's showing up, you know, in different parts of the neighborhood or whatever, or, you know, joining neighborhoods. Bitch, nobody is saying what's going on. Nobody's trying to speak on what's happening. He is in there just excited. He was like, yes. And I was like, oh, so this was your plan all along, okay? And so at this point, he turns around and he sees Chad and Kelly. Kelly got the shotgun. She said her daddy a Marine, so she know how to do this shit, all right? And she wasn't playing. She was pissed off. You done killed her friend, okay? You done caused her friend's death, you know? So at this point, it's time for your ass to go. And so, you know, they like, we was there. Where's the other prints and stuff like that? So he was like, wait a minute, you was there? At first it was like, I don't know what you're talking about. But then he was like, oh, so you witnessed this. But wait a minute, if you was there, how come you didn't? Y'all weren't even watching the damn movie. Of course, because you was too busy laying pipe. Bitch, when he said laying pipe, I was sitting here like, first of all, you don't say those words in real life, because it didn't even sound right coming out your mouth, okay? Mind you, the guy that plays, the director, he is forever playing a bad guy. Like, can you talk about being typecast? If you watch, oh my God, American Horror Story 1984, he was in that. He was a bad guy in that, or a cop or whatever. You know, the killer. Was he the killer in that? Bitch, he was in American Horror Story 1984. Okay, his mama had died and all that stuff and woo woo woo, blah blah blah. Okay, his mama was the lady in the woods. If you watch Big Sky, he was the officer, the sex trafficking officer on there. I said, bitch, if y'all ain't watched that, y'all need to watch it. It's really, really good. And I hope I didn't spoil it for anybody that didn't watch it. If I did, I apologize, okay? But he was on there. He was on Gothica with Halle Berry, being a fucking asshole on that. I was like, damn, you can't stop being an asshole for shit because you playing so goddamn well. But anyway, so he goes into this whole story about how it came about, you didn't catch the subliminals or whatever. Just like in The Exorcist, we put these two, screams in there, two little clips in there, whatever, images of the devil, and that caused people to go into convulsions, and to fall out, and you got pregnant women giving birth up in the theater and stuff like this. People thinking that they really possessed or whatever. It's subliminals and shit like that. So he's saying that he worked on The Exorcist, and that was his idea to put it in there, and so he's pissed off. He's doing all of this because he's pissed off that it didn't win Best Picture or whatever it was nominated for, and it lost to this movie called The Sting. Okay? And so he was like, let me go make my own movie. So he goes into looking into how the frequencies and stuff can affect people's fear senses, you know what I'm saying, fear factor in their minds and stuff like that, and learned that like 330 hertz of frequency or whatever can cause people to have seizures even if they're not epileptic, and I was like, so what's the point? Because you pissed off that you ain't win or whatever, and you feel like you didn't get no respect, you go take it out on innocent people that didn't do nothing. Like, I can see the committee who was the one voting for this shit, but why the innocent people gotta be involved? That's what I didn't understand, okay? He said, I took it to my editor, and she up in there, bitch, cutting her goddamn fingers off. I said, what the hell? And he just laughing and smiling at it, glee, and they was like, okay, fuck all that shit. Where is the goddamn other print? He was like, I don't know what you're talking about. That was the only one that I had. Chad said, when I looked at the projector print, the print that was at the Starlight Theater where we was at, I saw that it wasn't no splices in it, which means that was a copy. I said, oops. He said, so where is it? Bitch, he was still trying to play dumb or whatever. And Kelly said, no, we finna do this shit right now. Shot him dead up in the goddamn kneecaps, okay? And he still was being, an asshole, trying not to give off where the prince was until she was about to shoot him again. And then so he said, there you go right there. It was a box right there. And so Chad took the box, took the prints out there, the film out, put it on top of the stove, and burnt it. And then, basically the trailer starts to catch on fire, and they trap him in there by throwing the suitcase, not the suitcase, but the bookcase down, okay? And at this point, we do see the van outside. So I believe it was him that dropped off that print at the drive-in. And he was like, I got a Rolls Royce. You don't want to know how I got that? Bitch, you think that this is it? This is only the beginning. And I'm sitting here thinking like, what? You are about to die. Your film is destroyed. How is this is only the beginning? I said, you so defiant, even in the face of death. I got to give you that, bitch, okay? You persistent. Baby, they did all this. We see Kelly and Chad walking up out the trailer. I was waiting for the thing to explode, but it never did. Because the next thing we see, they in, I think his home again, and they kissing about to get it in, okay? They about to get it in this time. I was like, oh my God, y'all finna get it in? What is going on? Why? I said, you really just killed somebody and now you finna go and have sex? I said, how many months was this afterwards? Because next thing you know, if you paid attention, they started to pan the camera from them doing what they doing in the bed over to his computer. And up on his computer is the Netflix homepage. And on the Netflix homepage is the goddamn movie, Rabbit Rabbit. I said, oh shit. Kind of figured that's what was going to happen. But it was still like, okay, that's what he meant about this is just the beginning. And what's going to happen next is going to be epic. Meanwhile, once we see that Rabbit Rabbit on the Netflix home page or whatever, they pan outside and you see the city is fucked up. It's fires, it's smoke, people crashing. It's just a whole bunch of chaos that's going on. And these motherfuckers in there fucking. I said, oh shit, they're about to die. It's about to be the zombie apocalypse and the Walking Dead up in this bitch. Girl, somewhat about what the fuck finna happen to us. Girl, I don't want to put that out there like that. I ain't no conspiracy theory, but what if some shit like that really could have happened? Okay, the way this goddamn COVID shit is going on, girl. Girl, I just don't know. At this point, it's like any fucking thing can happen, okay? Bitch, that just like, you ever think about that? Like, you ever think about the things that you consume and the things that we watch, and people can't really get brainwashed, okay? People really can't get brainwashed by some of the images and the way that they, you know, be put out there, whatever, and sliding me and subliminals and all that stuff. That is a scary ass thing, bitch. But anyway, that was American Horror Story episode 3. It was corny, it was cheesy, but it was cute enough for me to talk about. I feel like all of them gonna be corny and cheesy like that. I'm not taking it serious. It's just something for me to watch because I'm a fan of the show. So, you know, I'll come on here and I'll talk about it. If you watched it, like I said, it's on Hulu. It comes on, episode come on every Thursday. If you got anything to say, let's comment down below. And I'll see y'all later on tonight for Love After Lockup. Peace.